Welcome back to another episode of Kicking Tables. My name is Sean.
And I'm Tico.
And today we'd like to welcome the creator of a game called Immune, Mr. David Campo. David, thank you for joining us on Kicking Tables.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So David, Immune is your first created board game, is that correct? Why don't you tell us about what Immune is?
Well, first, it's a cooperative game. It's a strategy game. I would say in the board game geek scale, it would be like 2.5, I guess. It has it's light medium game. It is we are all trying to direct the immune system to fight a viral disease. So every game has a different virus. There are 16 of them, and on 3 difficulty levels. There's easy, medium, and hard. Wow. And then you try to defeat the virus. You try to remove some viral tokens that appear on the organs, and then at the same time you try to build yourself better ability so you can fight it.
What were some of the influences of this game? Because obviously one of the most famous virus games is Pandemic. Were games like that sort of an influence in Immune?
Well, I love Pandemic, but I played it to death. But no, this one is it's more like the Pandemic is like how it distributes over the world.
Right.
And this one is just inside one body.
Right.
And there are no roles. It's not like there are different parts of the immune system and every person is different. No. In this game, you are all trying to chip in, trying to coordinate, to orchestrate the immune response. So there are no roles predefined. However, you build yourself. So you kind of, as you start playing, you get better abilities and you start differentiate from each other.
Okay.
So you're playing as the body's immune system. You're not playing as a doctor trying to cure something. You're playing as the body trying to fight off disease.
Yes, exactly. We are. There are like different B cell types, but they are only one single use powers. So every player will get one, and you can. So that's the only thing that is a little bit makes you different from each other. Otherwise, you will just build yourself as a different player. And they are, so as you said, we are not like a doctor. No, we are just trying to defeat the game. We are like the cells trying to defeat the game.
Okay. And you said there's 16 different diseases that could possibly be in, and is that chosen at the beginning of the game that you know what you're fighting?
Yes. So you get in the setup there is a little bit of there are several things that can make the game more replayable. So one of them is there are 16 of viruses and they are split into 3 difficulty levels. So at the beginning, it's better just to play with easy, and then there are other things. I don't know if you have had time to see in the campaign, but there are 9 potential actions that they are really the heart of the game. So every turn you just do something bad, which is the virus replicates in the body. Then you do something good, and what is good is you have to choose 2 out of the 9 possible actions, and they are are available. They are available to all. So this game started as a worker placement first, but I couldn't make it scale for so many players. So at the beginning, I don't know how. I think at the Rise of Atlantis was able to do it. I think they have a worker placement and they have like different players. But in my case, I wanted to play solo. That was a big design principle.
Okay.
So I wanted to work for 1 up to 6. Really, you can play more, but it's like now time. It just takes too long around the table.
Okay.
And you get so you get out of these 9 potential actions, and if you every turn then if you haven't died yet, then you what you need to do is to try to find like a key. So each virus has like a key. It's a set of numbers, like 5 numbers, 4 to 5 numbers, and there are positions on a board where you need to do some tile placement. So you will have to kind of find there are amino acid tiles. Each one is like a little part of a protein, and then you will build it. And if you cover those places and they are connected among sure, then you win instantly the game.
So are the concepts in this game based on real immune system science?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
I worked. I streamlined it, but yes, everything is science-based. For instance, you have DNA, then the DNA there is like an economic engine in the game. So you start with DNA, then you get a little bit of RNA, which is you pay for it. Then RNA you get into protein, and with the protein is that you get the winning tiles. And that's something, but it's very hard to do it that way. That's what you need to activate the innate immunity, which is another branch of the immunity, and they are like special abilities make you better. This is the main way that you improve yourself, and then you will be able to get the to win. Yeah.
Wow.
Are you hoping that with games like Immune and stuff like that, that it's going to help to educate people on, the potential dangers of disease and how it spreads within the body?
Yeah. Yes, I wanted that. Like, I play games every week, so I wanted a fun game. I wanted a strategy game. But yes, I wanted it to be based on the science. I hoped, like, I don't know, if maybe some house out of 1,000, one person will say, you know what, I want to do this for a living. That would be great. It would make me very happy. But I wanted it to be a game, so that's why I streamlined it a lot. I once was playing with an immunologist, and she was very angry. She was saying, "Where is this receptor? Where is this molecule?" And I was saying, "No, it's not a simulation. It's more of an appetizer.
Okay.
You will, but it is, but everything that is there is like correct." But it's not. It won't be enough. Some people in the campaign were asking me for a glossary, something that links better let's say the cards, the components with the science, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna add it. We had it before, but it was too long, and then I thought they can just search it or something. But maybe it's good at least to say each component like a brief overview of the immune system, and we're gonna do that.
Now, you mentioned in your campaign, actually, you spoke just recently about the difficulty levels, and you mentioned in your campaign that you actually wrote a Python program to actually play the game to, I guess, just figure out like balance for different difficulties. Can you explain what you did there, and how did that change the game for you?
It's funny. Look, you aren't gonna believe, but I play tested enough the basic engine. So the game had like the viral was replicating everybody like that, and that was working well. Then you had the abilities that were fine, but the economic engine part of the game, I mean, like that you need to get resources and exchanging for others, a little bit of set collection, that was that was difficult to balance. Once I got something that was working, then I say, now I needed to do it for every card and for every difficulty level. So I thought it was impossible. I mean, I guess you can try to play test it, but I wanted something that was more like rigorous. So Marvin, that's how I call the Python program. This poor robot, he had to play the game like 100,000 times.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yes, it was. So what he did was, and it's random, and it's funny because you know how they say that if you have an army of monkeys writing, then they will end up with War and Peace, something like that. So first I did it, and I thought, okay, if it's a random robot playing it, then I guess if he wins 5% of the time, that's like easy. I don't know, what would you say? If imagine a random player just playing and he would win 5% of the time. And I did it like this. And then I played tested and everybody was losing.
Oh.
Everybody was losing. So I say, okay, then I started to make it easier. And what I realized is that at the beginning of the game, it's a little bit like chess. There are not so many options. So the robot only does things that are legal.
Right.
So he doesn't go like do crazy stuff. He just does things that he can do at that time. For instance, if he has enough resources to buy this, then he buys it. Otherwise, he can't. So what was happening was that he was playing well the game. And also, all the actions are good. Right. There's not like an action that is like, no, they all help you. So he was just taking different paths. So I liked that. And what I did was to make it win. And now he wins like 50% of the time. And that's easy, I think.
Okay.
25% of the time and 12.5% of the time. That's difficult.
So did that help you balance certain things in the game? How did the game change for you?
Oh, I didn't explain it.
Right. No, that's fine. Once you have those results, what kind of changes did you need to make in the game?
So that's that's why he plays it so many times. So look how it works. Imagine that I have, let's say right now you need to pay 2 DNA to get 1 RNA cube. Let's say 2 green and you get 2 red and you get 1 green. Okay. So this is a parameter in the game. So what I did was to have like a range of parameters. Let's say the cost of this cube was gonna be from 1 to 10. And let's say that the cost of the tiles that you need to win right now is 3 blue. So now I made it go from 1 to 10. So I had like all different things that you can buy or obtain in the game. I had different costs for them. For instance, the dice. So right now the dice has blank face, I think, blank face, 1 hit and 2 hits. So in total there are 4. Okay. But I play with that. I have dice that had a lot more hits, or I have dice that had only 2 hits, things like that. So those were the ranges. And each combo, let's say each combination of all these parameters was one game that the robot needed to test.
Right.
So he would take this set of parameters and then he would play that game 1,000 times. And he will tell me, I won only 5 times, so that means too hard. It means that the cubes were too expensive, something like that.
Okay.
Now, so so that's the way I did. I started first. I just did a range, and then I started to hone in like the good zone, and then I started to get my desired levels of winning at each difficulty level.
That's excellent.
Okay.
So you can say that Marvin is a top fan, that he's played your game so many times.
Yeah, this is from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I don't know if you remember, and he's the press robot.
Yes.
Paranoid.
Yeah.
So that's why I call him. I think he was just tired of playing it, but he never complained.
Well, I think you might be one of the only game developers to actually write a program to actually play test your game. So that's pretty brilliant, actually. I like that.
Well, I did play a lot myself, and then I was like, no, it's too hard to. I also wanted to explore like weird ranges. Let's say maybe I am playing it right now, and that's how that looks normal, like so 2 or 3, but maybe there are other ways to win it. So I really was, and it was very illuminating. I liked a lot that experience. Just coding it was so almost everything on the game is there except a few things. So for instance, he just defeats viruses, but in the actual game, you need to go and choose where the white cell goes and how she has battles. Okay. So that I couldn't code.
Right.
Or there are many other things like that. Also some cards I couldn't code. They were too like. You need to think how to use them. Sure. Whereas the game just say, if I can do it, I use it.
You can't program human interaction.
No, also that, yes. He was playing solo. Yeah, he was playing solo.
In the campaign, you mentioned that you'll be donating copies of the game for every 20 units sold to schools and libraries. What led to that decision? We don't see a lot of that sort of thing in these sort of campaigns. What led to your decision to want to sort of give back?
Well, this was like a step down. I originally was going to donate all profits to the CDC Foundation and the WHO COVID-19 fund, but I could not. Kickstarter, I wrote to Kickstarter, didn't let me. And then CDC also wasn't happy with it. So I then decided to do this thing about the schools, and the idea is simply that that I would be really happy if this becomes, although it's a game, I do want now to many people get interested in these topics. Yeah. You know, all the time, I don't know if you have lived this experience, but I get all these messages from my aunts, from my mom, about like they are scared about the virus, let's say about COVID.
Of course.
Yes, and they are like telling me all these crazy things. And I kind of get angry, but then I think it's like, I mean, it's difficult. It's really difficult. Mm-hmm. So and I thought this right now it was a good time to do it. I guess if I had done this maybe, I don't know, 2 years ago, it would just be another game that comes and goes. But I thought it was going to have more buzz. But funnily enough, at least on the on the Facebook page, they are a little bit like tired of the virus. So they don't want to know anything more about virus. We have observed that, but I do think that this is a good time because maybe it will find its home into it will find its place into many homes, and perhaps it will drive some people becoming scientists.
That's fantastic.
That's why I
great. Yeah, that's a great, fantastic goal. That's really good.
Yeah, thank you.
So after the campaign, will you be seeing a retail release? Do you have a publisher set up for a retail release already?
So far, what we are thinking, I mean, I am really a scientist. I don't want to. This is not like my business, but I want to have all these copies sold in Kickstarter, and then if any remain, we will sell them in our website. My wife made a website, and then we're gonna sell them there. So they are not gonna go for retail. We don't have a retailer place, and I mean that's what it is so far.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want a copy of Immune, you need to get in on it on Kickstarter. It's going to be
the Kickstarter. Yeah,
it's going to be a Kickstarter exclusive game at this point. And
well, it is. There are going to be copies left, but they're going to be more expensive also.
Sure.
And you're not going to find it anywhere else. That's true.
It's great. I mean, I love the concept. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Pandemic, and this looks like it's a little more refined version of that kind of, strategic. Co-op game, and I love that kind of game, strategic cooperative game, and I love what you're doing, David. Immune is available now on Kickstarter, and you are so close to your goal. We're checking it now. You're like $50 away from your goal as we record this. So, you've got 21 days to go, David. I'm going to say congratulations on getting it funded, because
Thank you.
it's going to happen. You've got a
Yes,
lot of
yes,
time
yes,
left.
yeah.
You know, links will be in the show notes below, so be sure to check out the Kickstarter for Immune. David, before we let you go, is there anything about the game that we haven't talked about that you really want people to know?
Well, I wish people would read more about the campaign. There are several aspects there I talk about that motivated me to make the game.
Right.
And I think please read it. It's not just like a lot. This game means a lot to me. So there were many important things that motivated me to finish it and to give it a wide exposure. So please read about them and yeah.
Excellent. David, thank you so much for joining us on Kicking Tables. It
Thank
has
you very
been a
much.
pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, it was very nice. Thank you very much. Good
Thanks,
luck.
David.